इन दिस एपिसोड ऑफ मोमेंटम मास्टर्स हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं एक कॉमन इंडिकेटर के बारे में जिसका नाम है MACD। तो ये नाम तो आप शायद ऑलरेडी सुन चुके होंगे, बहुत सारे वीडियोस हैं MACD के बारे में, लेकिन बहुत सारे मिथ्स भी है MACD के बारे में। तो इट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी एन इंडिकेटर दैट इज वेरी सिंपल टू लर्न एंड जब भी क्रॉसओवर हो जाता है बाय एंड सेल सिग्नल्स आर जनरेटेड एंड वी अज्यूम दैट इज अ वेरी इजी इंडिकेटर टू ट्रेड। लेकिन क्या रियलिटी इससे जुड़ती है? तो ये हम लोग समझ लेंगे आज की वीडियो में। तो दिस वीडियो विल बी इन अ वर्कशॉप फॉर्मेट जहाँ पे हम स्क्रीन शेयर करेंगे, एमी ब्रोकर पे बैक टेस्ट करेंगे डेटा को 5 मिनट्स 15 मिनट्स टाइम फ्रेम पे फॉर द ईयर 2023 एंड 2024 एंड वील ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम अ रियल ट्रेडर्स लेंस एज टू वेदर दिस स्ट्रैटेजी एक्चुअली वर्क्स। सो लेट्स डीप डाइव इनटू द स्ट्रैटेजी नाउ। So, आज हम क्या करने वाले हैं? We are going to go to a tool called AMI Broker and we are going to backtest these strategies. So now, if you have noticed our previous videos on RSI, moving averages, etc., you'll already be familiar with this dashboard. But if you're not, that's still okay. This is basically a backtesting tool जहाँ पे हम लोग एक strategy को deploy करते हैं and ये हमको दिखाता है कि how the strategy would have been, would have actually performed and what would have happened to your money. So, यहाँ पे हम एक assumptions को लेके, एक set of assumptions को लेके आगे जा रहे हैं। The first assumption is that 50% of the capital will be deployed for each and every trade. We are only going to take a maximum of 2 trades at any given point in time, which means more or less 100% of the capital is deployed at any given point in time. और हम लोग leverage वगैरह नहीं ले रहे हैं इस particular experiment या back test में। तो स्टैंडर्ड MACD सेटिंग्स जो है यहाँ पे आपको दिख रही है, दिस इज स्टैंडर्ड, वी हैव नॉट डिविएटेड फ्रॉम इट एंड वी आर गोइंग टू ऑल्सो अस्यूम दैट वी विल बी ट्रेडिंग विथ 1 लाख रुपीज। इनिशियली वी विल ओनली बी टेकिंग लॉन्ग ट्रेड्स एंड वी आर डूइंग इट ऑन अ 5 मिनट टाइम फ्रेम। ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट वी हैव ऑल्सो अस्यूम्ड that the brokerage will be 0.015% per side. So put together for both sides buy and sell, it will be around 0.03%. So now with that said, what we'll do is we'll click on the backtest button and we will backtest it for the year 2023 and 2024. And so many trades have been generated. You can see this. What this basically shows you is the stock name here, the type of trade. Is it a long trade? Is it a short trade here? The date on which the trade was taken along with the time, the price at which the trade was taken, which is the buy price, and EX date shows the exit date. So exit क्या same day पे हुआ, next day पे हुआ, and also at what time, and what is the exit price. These are these set of columns. यहाँ पे percentage change आपको दिखती है, what is the average gain or loss that particular trade made, and this percentage profit is including brokerage. So this percentage change वाला column जो आपको दिख रहा है, this is without brokerage. Percentage profit is with brokerage, and number of bars means how many candlesticks did the trade last for. So with this said, let us deep dive into the report and let's generate the report and see what would have happened. So as you can see, something very shocking is coming out. With a 1 lakh capital deployed, the loss would have been somewhere around 75%. Yani you would have lost 75,000 rupees by deploying this strategy blindly. And if you see the total number of trades, you will see that around 6,700 trades have been generated, which means the system is continuously generating trades. And if you look at the total number of winners, out of 6,700 trades, only 1,927 winners are there, which means roughly only about 28 to 30% of trades are winning trades. But if you look at losing trades, 71%, yani around 4,800 trades are losing trades. And if you look at the overall graph, you will notice that the P&L graph is actually quite bad. We started off with 1 lakh, you can see this here. Lekin continuously, the strategy is losing money and ultimately we have ended up with only 25,000 left in our account. यहाँ पे भी आप देख सकते हैं, this is a drawdown graph. तो यहाँ पे drawdown continuously हो रही है and almost 75% तक आ चुकी है. So this strategy has never really worked out if we take a look at something like a 5 minutes time frame towards a long. But then, since we are going to backtest multiple situations, it makes sense to document this and then move on so that we'll remember and we'll have a bird's eye view on the Excel sheet. So what we are going to do now is we'll move to the Excel sheet and यहाँ पे time frame में 5 minutes लगाने वाला हूँ. यहाँ पे total number of trades somewhere around 6,700 थे, if I'm not mistaken. It's around 6,700. So यहाँ पे डाल देते हैं कि ये 6,700 trades है. Direction of the trade will be long. Win rate will be somewhere around 71% and losing rate is around 29% of the trades. Risk to reward ratio अगर देखा जाए तो यहाँ पे हमको देखने को मिलती है कि जो विनिंग ट्रेड होती है इसमें वी आर विनिंग अबाउट ऑन एन एवरेज 0.7% पर ट्रेड, और जो लूजिंग ट्रेड होती है हम लोग सिर्फ 0.33% खो रहे हैं. So that is still good. The risk reward ratio is around 1:2, which is still great. But the number of losing trades are quite high. So we are losing 7 out of 10 trades. But anyways, let's document this. हमारा risk reward ratio है 1:0.5, which means for every 1 rupee of risk we have, the reward is just 0.5. So that's how you document this. So now if we take a look at the drawdown, ये almost 75% तक बन चुकी है and total loss or gain is also around 75%, which means it is quite a bad situation if we had deployed this. Now what we'll do is we'll flip the script. What instead of long, we had actually gone short, and let us click on backtest. So as you can see, several trades have been generated here. यहाँ पे आपको बहुत सारे ट्रेड्स देखने को मिल रही है, बट वी कांट लुक एट ईच ऑफ दीज ट्रेड्स इंडिविजुअली, सो वील ओपन अप द रिपोर्ट एंड जनरेट इट. सो यहां पे भी आपको देखने को मिल रही है कि इफ यू हैड स्टार्टेड विद एन इनिशियल कैपिटल ऑफ 1 लाख, वी वुड हैव लॉस्ट 93% ऑफ आवर अकाउंट वैल्यू, and the total loss is somewhere around 93,638 rupees, and you would have been left with just 6-7% of your account remaining with you. यहाँ पे भी ट्रेड्स बहुत सारे हैं, 6,500 ट्रेड्स. एवरेज लॉस पर ट्रेड बन रही है 0.08%, एंड द रेस्ट ऑफ द नंबर्स आर लुकिंग वेरी फेमिलियर टू यू. विनिंग ट्रेड्स इज अराउंड 28% एंड लूजिंग ट्रेड्स इज अराउंड 71%. यहाँ पे भी अगर चार्ट देखा जाए तो इट इज क्वाइट अ पुअर चार्ट, and you can notice that your 1 lakh capital has become 6,300 rupees, which is very, very bad. And that's pretty much how this strategy has played out in the short run over a span of 2 years. And यहाँ पे आपको एक भी spurt देखने को भी नहीं मिल रहा है, which means it is continuously losing. So one of the reasons why this continuous sustained loss is occurring is not just because the strategy is failing, it is also because the transactional costs are eating. Transactional costs could mean SEBI charges, brokerage charges, etc. All of them are eating into your account, and that is making you lose money in the long run. So now what we are going to do is document this also, and we'll move on to higher time frames. So यहाँ पे मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ? I'm still going to mention this as 5 minutes. We are going to assume that the total trades are somewhere around 6,500, and the direction is going to be short. Win rate is quite poor, it's around 28%, and losing rate is 71%. So we are going to mention 28% here, and 71% of the trades are actually losing. And risk reward ratio अगर देखा जाए, the average profit per trade is 0.62%, but the average loss per trade is 0.36%, which means that again we are winning handsomely compared to losers, but again we are losing a lot of trades. So again, the risk to reward ratio, I'm going to mention this as 1:2 to begin with. And now let's have a look at the drawdown. The drawdown is going to be somewhere around, again, 93%, which is very bad. So यहाँ पे 93% mention कर लूँगा, and total loss is also somewhere around 94%. So now we understood that be it on the long side or be it on the short side, we are still losing money in these transactions. So what we are going to do next is we will move to a higher time frame, something like a 15 minutes time frame, and we are going to first get into longs, and then we are going to backtest this particular strategy. Same strategy. So now when you open up the report, you can see that it is still loss making. Over a period of 2 years, you've lost 35% of your account. Charts पे देखा जाए तो it is not a very good chart to see. April से जुलाई तक थोड़ा बहुत momentum थी, लेकिन उसके बाद again the losses have started mounting. So now what we are going to do is start documenting this also. We had a total of 2,200 trades. So let us document that. We had about 2,200 trades on a 15 minutes time frame and the direction was long. Let us have a look at the win rate. The win rate was somewhere around 30% and the losing rate was somewhere around 70%. So I'm going to mention win rate as 30% and losing rate as 70%. And if we take a look at the risk reward ratio, again, something similar plays out. When you're winning almost double of what you're losing. So I'm going to mention this as 1:2. And let us have a look at the drawdown. If we have a look at the drawdown, it's somewhere around 42%. So we are going to mention minus 42% here. And the total gain or loss is going to be something different. So let us have a look at the total loss, that is around minus 35%. So यहाँ पे minus 35% लगा देंगे. So now this is for longs, and if we actually try to do this strategy with shorts, and when we click on backtest and generate the report, you can again see that the net profit is minus 89%, and we have generated a huge number of trades. So a big losing proposition to all of us. And if we look at our P&L graph, it is actually quite bad here. So we are going to start documenting even that. So the total number of trades taken were somewhere around 2,100. So 2,100 trades were taken on the 15 minutes time frame. And if we take a look at the direction of the trade, that is a short. If we take a look at the win rate, that is somewhere around 30% and losing rate is 70%. So 30% and 70%. Risk reward ratio, I'm guessing, will again be somewhere around 1:2. So if we have a look at it, risk reward ratio is slightly different. यहाँ पे 1.16% हम लोग gain कर रहे हैं per trade on an average winning trade, but on an average losing trade, we are losing around 0.76%. So how much does that come up to? 1.16 divided by 0.76. So around 1:1.5 हो रहा है यहाँ पे. So I'm going to mention 1:1.5. And average drawdown हमारा बन जाता है somewhere around 89%. And the total account loss is also somewhere around 89%. It's a continuous fall. So उसको भी document कर लेंगे, minus 89% and minus 89%. So as we can see, on shorter time frames, when you try to use MACD as an indicator, focus on this particular column for the time being, you will notice that irrespective of when you deploy it, because such a huge number of trades are being taken, it will start eating into your transaction costs. And ultimately, हर एक strategy, चाहे वो long हो जाए, short हो जाए, 5 minutes time frame हो जाए, 15 minutes time frame हो जाए, हमको loss ही दिख रहा है. And even if we were to, for example, maybe go for an hourly time frame, something similar can be noticed even there. So what is the end goal here with MACD? A lot of videos have been made saying MACD is a popular indicator. आपको देखते वक्त मतलब आपको एक फीलिंग आ जाता है कि शायद ये काम करने वाला है मार्केट में. लेकिन जब हम ब्लाइंडली ट्रेड करते हैं इस पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रैटेजी को लेके, हमको समझ में आ जाता है कि दिस इज अ लॉस मेकिंग प्रोपोजिशन. सो देयर इज अ बिग रीजन व्हाई. इफ यू लुक एट समथिंग लाइक दिस पर्टिकुलर रीजन ओवर हियर, यहाँ पे आपको बहुत सारे ट्रेड्स देखने को मिल रही है, राइट? You can see one long here and an immediate short here and a sell, again a buy, an immediate sell, a buy, etc. So ऐसे बहुत सारे trades when the market becomes range bound, there are several trades that are taken immediately, and whenever these trades are taken, it leads to losses क्योंकि MACD generally becomes profitable when you're trying to ride a trend and when you're trying to use MACD to find a broader trend. तो तब एक profitable proposition बनता है. But unfortunately, some statistics reveal that markets are trending only 30% of the time and markets are choppy or range bound for 70% of the time. So when you're using MACD, most likely you will be on the losing side and you lose a lot of money, especially when the markets become choppy. And this is the nature of trading an indicator, especially a lagging indicator like MACD, very blindly. At Fires, we pride ourselves in teaching our audience the right way to trade and the right way to look at the markets. And this is an eye-opening video that we have generated for you so that you don't fall into the pitfalls of what is being taught out in the market, especially simple strategies being taught out to you by finfluencers which don't have a sound logic behind it. So with that said, how do you trade MACD? You should always use MACD in conjunction or in combination with other price action strategies. For example, if an MACD crossover is coming up, ask yourself, is this happening at a support zone? Is this happening, or is this being accompanied with a chart pattern which is very good? For example, is it happening with a confluence of candlestick patterns that are occurring which are also bullish at the same time? Is it happening alongside both of these, which is support zones as well as bullish candlesticks, or resistance zones with bearish candlesticks? And in this way, you will be able to formulate an opinion. And also look at other charts at the same time and try to get a broader overview of where the markets is heading. So once you do this, you will be able to use MACD to supplement your trading strategy. But as a standalone strategy, MACD does not most likely work if applied blindly into the markets. So in this episode, we have debunked MACD as an indicator, and hopefully in the next set of episodes, we'll also look at other indicators which could include ADX, Ichimoku's, and so much more. So stay tuned.